Hello everyone and welcome back. Welcome to another crafty decor adventure. Olivia here, Olivia's Romantic Home. In today's video, I am so excited to share with you guys some DIY Dollar Tree decor crafts. So this is another part of my huge I Love Spring series. I love to share with you guys how you can make your home's boutique gorgeous on a budget. And I truly believe that y'all don't have to break the bank to have a fabulous, amazing home. Now don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribing is totally free. And pop over to my Olivia's Romantic Home Facebook page. I share several DIY videos a day over there with you guys. Now listen, without further ado, let's go ahead and plug in those glue guns. Get out your glitter and paint and let's get to crafty.
DIY. I'm going to take this sign, and Wendy actually sent this to me. She sent me these two signs, and then I already had this little tray on hand. I decided to take all three of these, and I'm going to make a 3-tiered tray. Okay, so I just want to take some spray paint and spray paint the entire signs and the trays, and then I have a little dab of Waverly chalk paint left, and I wanted to just go ahead and chalk paint them. I wasn't completely satisfied with the coverage from the spray paint. And I ran out of the chalk paint, so I ended up using my Dollar Tree $1 white acrylic paint, which it actually works pretty great, you guys. Now I'm taking 2 candlesticks, and these were also painted white with some spray paint, and I'm just going to use some E6000 glue, and you want to go around the rim, kind of add the E6000 glue and then add some hot glue. The E6000 glue will hold your project together permanently. The hot glue will help it stabilize temporarily, so it's a great little combo here. It's kind of magical. So I'm adding the tray and then the smaller one to the top. And now I want to take some black paint, and I'm just going to edge it along the edges. I want to make it look vintage farmhouse chic here by making it look kind of like an enamel tray. Now these tier trays are so expensive. So if you guys have some Dollar Tree little signs laying around that have seen better days, or that you're just not inspired to use for decor, flip them over, give them a paint job, add some candlesticks, and voila, you have a fun and fabulous tray for next to nothing, you guys. So easy to do, and these are so great to use in all of your seasonal decor, whether it be Christmas or spring or fall, which I am so looking forward to, or you could use them on a bridal table. Really, the sky is the limit on how you want to use this. So I'm going to pop some of my faux muffins in here, and if you guys have not checked these out, I'm going to link some in my Amazon store. And then my cute little Fresh Eggs Daily Dollar Tree sign. I'm going to share with you guys how to make these other projects over here, but how cute does this look? Now you can leave this set up as long as you want because the muffins are faux. I also added a romantic rose, and there you have it, a fabulous little centerpiece decor piece on a teeny tiny budget. Don't hesitate to look around your stash and see what you have that you can craft with and make something beautiful. For the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take some of these wooden beads, and I'm just going to empty them onto a tray. And I want to take a pipe cleaner and string the larger beads onto this pipe cleaner. I want to make one of those pretty little beaded decor pieces that you guys see everywhere. And you also can buy the beads already painted, but I wanted to see how hard it was to paint these beads. So I strung them on to this piece of pipe cleaner, and then I'm just going to take some of this spray paint and spray paint them. And I ended up hanging them from a tree to really give them a good coating. Now it did take a bit of spray paint, but it's okay. I already had it on hand. Then I'm going to take some hot glue, and I'm just going to hot glue the end of the pipe cleaner, and then I twisted it and kind of wrapped it and pushed it down on top of that, and that pretty much sealed my little bead off. You could also use wire. I'm using what I have on hand. So I'm taking some of that Dollar Tree twine, and I want to make a tassel. So I'm just going to wrap it around my hand, and I also want to use some baker's twine and add in some pretty brown and orange. You guys, I am thinking of fall decor coming up, so I wanted to make something that would be really cute on a tiered tray. So I'm just adding in some baker's twine, and basically I'm just homemaking a little tassel here. I'm going to fold it at the top and then just use a piece of twine to tie it off at the top. Now you all could use yarn, and I've even created these before using strips of fabric, so they're super easy to make, very customizable for whatever season you're decorating for. I'm going to add a dab of hot glue, and then I'm just going to push the bead down inside of the tassel. Now there's maybe a different way to do this, but I thought this was a fun way and it worked for me. So I'm also going to take one of those cute little Dollar Tree tags and these pretty transfer letters. They say Bon Appetit, and they're just like using a Cricut, except for they come in sheets at Dollar Tree, so you don't even have to have a Cricut anymore. They have transfer letters at Dollar Tree, so definitely check those out. So I'm just going to add the Bon and then the Appetit underneath that, and they're basically like a sticker, and then you rub on top of it. I'm using this popsicle stick. You could really use anything, a credit card, whatever suits your fancy, and then you just peel the transfer tape off and you have a beautiful little customized tag. I thought that would be fun to put on the end of this. I'm just going to tie this onto the end because if I want to take it off and make it more for a different season, that'll be super easy to do. So you have a beautiful decor piece. You still have a ton of beads left over. You could make several of these very easily and really decorate your home in that kind of fun farmhouse chic style. I'm giving it a little bit of a trim here, and then I did use some twine to tie a bow and just add some twine to the top. That's also going to secure that pipe cleaner and give it a really nice finished look. This next Dollar Tree DIY is such a fun one. You're just going to take some greenery, and I took a piece of lamb's ear and then some of this Walmart lavender, and using some zip ties, I just zip tied them together, and then I used some smaller pieces of lavender left over from another project, and I'm going to zip tie them on to the top. So you can use like a piece of garland. I just used the end of an lamb's ear garland, but any greenery back behind this would work. I wanted this to have like a French farmhouse chic effect. You know, when you look at magazines and they're sharing a lot of French decor or farmhouse decor, you'll see hanging bundles of lavender during the spring and summertime. Now I'm going to make a really cute little easy bow using my easy bow maker. You guys can grab these at the craft store or on Amazon or Deco Exchange, or you can just make a quick little bow by hand. I have a great little Olivia bow video I'll link down below for you. So for this bow, I am doing a little bit smaller. It's going to be 5 inches across if you do have an easy bow maker. And I do love the easy bow maker because it saves my fingers after long stretches of crafting. Sometimes I just get lazy, honestly, and use it. But you guys can see all you have to do is pop your ribbon in and it holds it right there in the center for you, and then you have 2 beautiful little tails. Now listen, don't forget to dovetail those ends. Using some scissors, just pinch this and cut a little triangle in an upwards direction. And if you guys can tell, I still have not found my craft scissors. I'm still using kid scissors. I'm gonna have to make a point this weekend to order some new crafting scissors. Okay, so now I'm just going to fluff out my bow, and really that's the secret to your bow. You've got to give it a good little fluffing. I like to fluff it after I get done making it and then once I get it onto my project. And I have been loving using zip ties for the center of my bow. It's got a really great hold. You do want to, though, use something to cover up the center of it unless you're really going to give your bow a nice fluffing and you're not going to be able to see it. So I'm just going to pop it onto the top of my little hanging lavender bundle, and this is probably the easiest floral that I have done all season. So you guys can totally do this, especially if you're a newbie arranging florals, or maybe you just don't want to do any big floral arrangements, but you do want a pop of color and a hint of springtime French farmhouse lavender somewhere. Now I'm using this little Dollar Tree smaller ribbon, and I'm just going to cover up my zip tie by winding it around the top of this, and then you can use that same ribbon to make like a little hook that your pretty lavender can hang from. I have this cute little shelf in my dining room, and I was looking at it and I didn't have anything hanging on the little hooks, and I thought, gosh, wouldn't it be cute to do like a little French farmhouse chic look? I have some vintage dishes that I picked up. Now here's another fun idea. I don't think that these normally would be a hanging like arrangement bundle, but we're going to use some of this Dollar Tree longer white blooming flower, some Dollar Tree greenery, and then just some of these bits and bobs of lavender that I had left over. Again, just kind of creating that fresh farmhouse appearance, and like it's just been freshly picked from my garden, even though it's faux, but hey, there will be no mess or fallout from these. So again, I zip tied everything together, and then just using this cute little piece of ribbon, I'm going to tie off the end and then also create a little hook for it. guys how to make kind of a floppy, scrappy bow. I'm going to make just a lantern bow. So I'm going to take some of this ribbon. This is just ribbon I have in my stash. It came from burlapfabric.com, and I'm just going to take some of the striped ribbon and then this really neat netting ribbon. I'll leave a link for burlapfabric.com down below for you guys. The coupon code to get $5 off is Olivia Spring. And so I'm just cutting, these are about 14 to 16 inch pieces, but you'll want to cut your ribbon however long your lantern is. My little lantern really isn't that tall. I like to make extra large bows, and I'm going to have to find a taller lantern, but I just really think this one is so cute. And so many of you asked where I found the lantern, and it was at the thrift store. So, but for this bow, you're just going to take and you're going to fold your little ribbons in half. It's super easy, and you're going to hold them in the center with your finger and just begin to continue to fold them in half. What I love about this bow is it really uses up a lot of extra scrap ribbons. So fun, easy, and fabulous. And I love adding all kinds of different textures with the striped ribbon, the buffalo check, the little lace ribbon, and then that netting ribbon. I've also seen kind of the netty ribbon at Hobby Lobby as well. So definitely check that out, and don't be afraid to try some new things. And then I'm just twisting this on with some wire. It's just the Dollar Tree floral wire. So you're just going to twist it on to whatever little project you're going for. And then I did go ahead and begin to fluffy out my little loopy bow, scrappy bow. I know there's another name for this bow. I just cannot for the life of me remember it. Julie Samako originated this one over at Southern Charm Wreaths. Go check her out if you love to make wreaths. I definitely adore her. And then I'm just going to add in some greenery. I'm adding dabs of hot glue to the base of my greenery. And then I'm going to pop it in underneath the bow. So it's more gluing to the bow and really not so much the lantern. You could also twist it on with floral wire, but I find this method seems to be just fine. And just continue to add in whatever springtime colors that you're decorating with and whatever suits your fancy. I just feel like springtime greenery is so nice to use. And recently I've also been crushing on some pops of purple. I think that's so fun and fabulous for spring, just to add in the lilacs and the lavender. And I think it gives it also a very French farmhouse, French country feel. So here is how the finished product looked with this little lantern bow. Oh my goodness. And then I have a little Dollar Tree candle popped into there, trying to give my bow just a little bit of extra fluffing. So definitely let me know what colors do you guys use for spring. I know a lot of people use greenery. Are you using pinks, pastels yet? I'm definitely going to go in for my home with a lot of whites, and then add some touches of grays, blacks, and whites, and then add in my pops of color. As Easter draws near, I'm definitely going to be going for pastels. I love pastels, but definitely the French country farmhouse look is speaking to DIY. I want to share with you all how to take some of those Dollar Tree terracotta pots and jazz them up or give them a little bit of a French country flair. So again, I'm using some of my homemade chalk paint, and I'm just going to chalk paint these little terracotta pots, and they're so nice. They absorb paint so well. I only needed to really use one coat with these, and then I wanted to make them feel and appear a little bit more vintage. And so I'm taking some of my Waverly Antique Wax and just a paper towel, and I'm just going to kind of like distress them and then add a little bit of white paint on top of that, especially if you get too much of the antique wax on top of that. So anyway, I'm going to do the other terracotta pot to match the first one. I always like to kind of rim on the inside because I may want to use them, you know, with flowers or something that you could kind of see down in the pot. So that's just a little tip too. And then I'm going to take these beautiful French country images, and I'm just going to cut them out. And again, I'll leave an album on my Facebook page with some of these really pretty images, and I'm just going to take and cut both of them out. And you don't have to completely cut all the way around like the scrolly design because it's a little bit intricate, although you could. But I also used a little light layer of hairspray on top of the images, and that way the image doesn't bleed when I'm doing the Mod Podge part. So now I'm going to take my Mod Podge and I'm going to Mod Podge on the back of my image, and then I'm going to lay that down on the terracotta pot. Now this image was a little bit larger than my pot, or it was the same size, but you know, then there's that little bump. So you have to get really aggressive with your Mod Podging. I guess that's what you would say. But again, I'm just taking that generous layer of Mod Podge and laying that down. Now it did make it bubble just a little bit, but that's fine with me because it's supposed to be kind of French country and fun and, you know, just vintagey. So I don't think it has to be completely perfect, although you could resize your image to make it smaller and fit underneath the lip of the terracotta pot if you wanted to. I just printed it as is. I'm a little bit impatient, and plus this gave me more images on my printed piece of paper. So I'm going to do the other one in the exact same fashion, and then I have two fabulous little boutique gorgeous pots on a budget. And the next thing I wanted to do was just add a little bit of foam inside the pot. I didn't even hot glue the foam. I was just able to like cut it and pop it down in there, and then add these pretty little lilac branches or lavender. I think these actually might have been my lavender. Anyway, I'm just popping these pretty little spring flowers into here. Again, these are from Dollar Tree. And then voila, I have this fabulous little French country mini pot on a budget, you guys. Like really, these would be at least $6 to $10 at your home decor store. And then I'm adding in some pretty little moss. Again, you can buy a bag of moss at Dollar Tree. And I did share with you guys that topiary that's back behind these in one of my last videos. So I hope you guys are inspired to do some spring dreaming and some pretty little planters. I really do a lot of fake florals inside right before the season starts because I'm patiently waiting for some of those really pretty flowers to be set out, and even the herbs. I even bought real lavender last year and had that growing outside in my front yard. So I'm really excited for the plant season. I don't know if you guys can tell, but we are going to be doing some real plants coming up very soon once my area gets past the kind of freeze point. We've even had snow in April before, although we have really nice weather now. So I'm always a little bit hesitant to set anything. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, we're going to take this Let It Snow sign and another image from the graphicsfairy.com. Again, the images that I find on there are totally free. This was just a French farmhouse rooster image that I printed and then I cut out, and I just print it on regular paper, and then I Mod Podged the back of the image, and then I Mod Podged over the front of the image just to get it on there really good. I want to make a really cute little French farmhouse kitchen sign to go in my kitchen. I think this is such a fun and fabulous way to decorate, especially if you love kind of the shabby chic farmhouse vibe. Now of course I did have to go a little bit extra and add some ribbon to the bottom. I'm also covering up where I had pulled that Let It Snow sign lettering off. And if you don't have the snow sign on hand, you can always use any kind of painted board or wood, or you could even just frame this and add some embellishments around your frame. So again, get creative. This is such a fun time to really think outside the box on what you guys already might have. And so I'm just adding some more little burlap rosettes to the base of this. I ended up using 3. I do order my burlap rosettes from burlapfabric.com. There'll be a coupon code for you guys below if you're interested. And then I also have this cute little thankful sign. This is just one of those little silver lettering signs that you get at the Dollar Tree. It came off of another project. I'm repurposing and reusing it and just hot gluing it to the top of this. I feel like I need a daily reminder to be thankful right now. Comment and let me know if you guys are with me on that one. And really, we do have so much to be thankful for. So here it is all together. I'm just loving this, and I'm so thankful for you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing to watch my videos, and thank you for commenting. Please let me know how you're doing. It really just helps warm my heart. It gives me an opportunity also to pray for you all and others as well. So for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take this today's prayer card, and I'm going to go ahead and use one of those little Dollar Tree scrolly mirrors, and I just added some hot glue to the top of the mirror, and then I just added the prayer card inside of it. Now for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to take this large Dollar Tree gift box, and I'm going to chalk paint the top of it white. I want to create a French farmhouse, a really cute, just little decorative box that I can use in my kitchen. And so I'm going to chalk paint the entire thing white on the top. And it did take 2 coats of chalk paint for this to be covered. And I will tell you, I really think this box is really super cute. Like, I could see myself using it in my bathroom as decor, or even my little beauty space. But for this particular DIY, I do want to do a French farmhouse look on this, and so that's why I'm going to go ahead and chalk paint it white. So once I had it chalk painted all the way white, I let it dry probably about 30 minutes in between coats, and then I gave it one more coat of chalk paint. And then I went to graphicsfairy.com and I did print out a really cute little graphic to go on the top of this, which I'm going to share with you in just a minute. But now I'm going to take some of that Dollar Tree contact paper, and my idea is to line the edge of the box with the contact paper. And that way I'll have a really cute kind of like, I think this is like really French farmhouse chic contact paper. It's so pretty with the black and white. And it'll just give it a little bit of a different look rather than painting the entire thing white. And you could go even a step further and add contact paper to the inside of it or the bottom, but I really didn't feel like that was necessary. And I do struggle with contact paper just a little bit, so I felt like this was sufficient enough. So again, I'm just tracing the edges of my box and then getting the right size contact paper and then adding that contact paper to the edges of my little box. And that was also giving the top part of my box plenty of time to dry in between paint coats. And you're not going to see the top lip, you can tell up here, so it's just fine to go ahead and pop that in here. You guys can make some really fun boxes like these, especially if you have room at the top of your kitchen cupboard and you just wanted something fun and decorative. Now the next step is to add a layer of Mod Podge. This was the Mod Podge that I used in that rustic cinnamon technique, so it did have a little bit of brown to it, but that was fine because I'm actually going to add another layer on top of that. And this little graphic was from graphicsfairy.com. It's free. You guys can go to their website and type in French country and you'll find all different kinds of French country graphics and ideas. And I will try to post these on my blog as well, and that way you guys can just go right there and you can click on it and download it that way. But now I'm just using some little Dollar Tree embellishment with this pretty little ribbon, and I'm going to add that to the top and the bottom of this, and that's just going to kind of jazz things up a little bit. I love kind of to embellish things and make them look just even a little bit more fabulous in my opinion. Now I'm taking these cute little burlap rosettes and I'm just going to hot glue them to the corner. I've shared with you guys before how to make burlap rosettes, but you just take the burlap, wind it around, and make a cute little rosette. These actually came from a burlap site, burlapfabric.com, I believe. And then of course I had to add a little jewel to the center of that, and voila, I have a fabulous little Dollar Tree box that looks like something, you know, that I bought at a boutique or a high-end decor store, and we made it for next to nothing, especially if you guys have some of these little baubles and goodies already in your craft stash. Dollar Tree DIY. I have to share with you all how to make a super adorable vintage scale using this little Dollar Tree storage container. And I have to give a shout out to my friend J Money DIY, who originally came up with this scale idea, and also my friend at Our Green Acres, who came up with the idea of how to rust something. So this is my take on this project, and I'm using a little doll table and then the end of this ribbon roll, and I'm just going to cut my little vintage scale piece. And so you can Google vintage scale front front and you can print out that image. That's how I found mine. Now I'm just going to take my little doll table, and this is in the kids section at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to hot glue that to the top of my container. I did flip my container over, and then I'm going to hot glue the lid to the top of that, and that's going to be like my little scale part. And so I will tell you too, you may want to paint your items first. I didn't do that on this. It came out okay. So, but just a little note, now I'm going to use a Dollar Tree napkin ring, and then I'm going to take my little ribbon roll cardboard piece, and you guys could use a plastic plate or a jar lid, anything that's round and circular. This was just easy for me, and I just popped this on here. This is what I had on hand, so I'm using what I have. The next thing I want to do is take some of this satin Rust-Oleum. It's a granite spray paint, and I just spray painted it and let it sit out in the sun until it dried. And then now I'm just going in with a little bit of my Waverly wax paint, and I'm just kind of giving it a light dusting to make it look a little bit more vintage. You could also use brown paint, but pretty much really whatever you have on hand. Now for the next part of this DIY, I'm just using some Mod Podge, and I'm going to add a layer of Mod Podge, and then to rust it, I'm going to use some cinnamon. So this is such a cool technique on how to make something look old and rusty, and I know pretty much everybody has a little bit of cinnamon and hopefully some glue. So once you get that cinnamon on, you can just take a little sponge, and these are just Dollar Tree sponges, and then you can add another layer of Mod Podge over that, and that's going to give it this really neat rusting effect. And you can let that dry and do another layer if you want to, which later I kind of think maybe I needed to have done that, but I was pretty happy with the results. It is a little bit messy, so make sure you have a little paper towel or something underneath your crafting space. Now I'm taking the little printable that was the vintage scale face, and I'm just Mod Podging that on to the front of my little vintage scale. And you guys, this one came out so fun, and basically it was about $2 to create this. And if you've priced vintage scales, they're so much more expensive in the home decor stores, and we made this on such a tiny budget. And then I just popped some faux lemons onto this. I'm actually going to move this inside once Easter is over and do a huge lemon display and make it really cute and kind of cottage chic in my kitchen area. So anyway, I just had so much fun creating this, and I hope you guys are inspired to possibly create one of your own. Pick up one of those Dollar Tree storage containers with a little bit of paint, and with those cute little doll tables, you can really go to town. For the next DIY, I'm going to take some painter's tape, and I'm going to tape off the little cord on this lamp. Now this is a lamp base that I found at the thrift store for $5, and I actually gave you guys a little teaser yesterday on the Facebook Live video that I did for you, and I asked you what color you wanted me to paint this lamp, and French gray won out. This is actually the color that I used also on my walls, and it was from Sherwin-Williams, and it wasn't exactly called French gray. I'll have to take a look at the can again, and I'll try to remember to let you guys know exactly what color this was, but it's so pretty, and it's what they call a grayish. So I'm just taking my paintbrush, and I'm going to begin to paint this lamp base. Now I thought this was going to be a super fast project, and to be honest with you, normally I probably would have ran out and just bought some spray paint, but this was definitely a labor of love. I ended up doing, I believe, about 2 coats. And when I'm talking about a grayish, the new hot color, I guess this year, is a combination between gray and beige for your wall colors. And so I chose this color, and the lady at the paint store said that the new hot color this year was grayish. So there you guys have it, but I think it's kind of like a French gray to me. Okay, so I did look at the paint can, and it is called Repose Gray by Sherwin-Williams, and this is what I used for my wall colors in my living room. And I definitely want to share with you guys how I went about repainting my walls. It was quite a project, and we actually started it at the beginning of the quarantine. So now you guys can see I'm having to go in to get into those little nooks and crannies with a smaller paintbrush. Again, this was quite a labor of love, but definitely well worth it in the end. Once both coats were dry, I went in with some sandpaper and began to gently distress it. I didn't want it super distressed, just a little bit on the edges. And now I'm using some of this Waverly Antique Wax. And you get this at Walmart in the crafts section next to the Waverly chalk paint. And you just put a little bit onto a soft towel, and you can begin to just gently distress it or give it a little bit of a wax finish. And then I also went back over it with a little bit of sandpaper. If you get too much wax on, it's actually really forgiving. I think you guys would really enjoy this. You just take your towel and kind of wipe that back off. But you guys can see I'm really trying to distress where all of those little crevices are. And again, this was quite the labor of love, but again, so worth it in the end. And I just love this look. It's just that kind of classic, beautiful, French farmhouse vibe that I just absolutely love. And I think I'm really happy with the gray that you guys suggested. Gray is really hot right now, and I love that this gray does again have that warm undertone. But I'm just going over it again with a little bit more of that wax, and then you guys can see if I get too much, I just gently rub that off. And I really think it's giving it a nice soft effect. The other thing I decided to do to give it a little bit more of a vintage vibe was to go in with a tiny bit of that gold with my paintbrush. I just gently brushed that on, and that kind of gave it just a little bit of a pretty sheen and made it feel a little bit more vintage, which I really love. And because I did a little bit of gold on that tray, I thought that would be kind of the perfect accent to go along with this French country, French farmhouse theme. And then for the next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm just going to take this little Dollar Tree kitchen sign, which I actually think is really cute. I'm going to keep it, but I wanted to add this little French farmhouse saying. And in fact, if you all are French and you know what this says, definitely comment and let me know. I'm not for sure what it says, but I did get the graphic off of graphicsfairy.com. All you guys have to do is just search French farmhouse, and you'll find some really pretty little sayings and sign additions. So I just popped it into this white Dollar Tree frame, and I add it into this beautiful little setup here, and I think it's just looking so fun and fabulous. I love this cream and black ticking fabric. I got it from burlapfabric.com, but I've also seen it at Walmart if you all need any French country kind of curtain or fabric or whatnot. So for the next DIY, I'm actually going to upcycle some of these Bath & Body Works candle lids. I'm going to take some of this chalk paint, and again, I used several different coats. I will suggest that I do like the Waverly chalk paint paint better than this Kilns chalk paint. It seems to have a bit more coverage. So then once I had my little lids chalk painted, I'm going to use some of this Dollar Tree contact paper, and I'm just going to trace around the lids. What I want to create is a coaster for my living room. I cannot wait to redecorate for spring, so definitely check back next week for spring decorating. I will have a huge DIY video posting as well on Saturday, but I'm just going to go ahead and trace around the little contact paper. I want it to fit the very top of the lid. I'm just going to add it to the top of the lid. You guys, really the sky is the limit. Originally, I thought I was going to Mod Podge a French graphic onto this, but I spied a little bit of contact paper that I needed to use up. I've been using this pretty much everywhere. I used it in organizing my kitchen and laundry room. I just think it's so pretty, and I love the black and white. I think it's so French country, and just so fun and fabulous. So here is how they look, and you can really pop these in anywhere for just a bit of black and white pops, or just somewhere nice for you to sit your beverage, and it'll be something very pretty and nice to look at, and it'll go along with your little French farmhouse chic country theme. A lot of what you all see in my videos, I have a lot of questions of different things that you all see, and I'm going to tell you pretty much everything is from the thrift store, flea market, or garage sales. So if you're wondering where these Dollar Tree DIY, we're going to take 3 Dollar Tree garden planters. I already have one painted white, and then I'm going to take these other 2 and paint them white as well. What I want to create is a 3-tiered garden topiary, but I want this to be inside my home. I really need some garden inside my home to lift my spirits and brighten my day. Comment if you guys feel me on that one. So I'm just taking some Waverly white chalk paint. Really any paint will do if you're going to be using it inside. If you're going to be using it outside, you'll need to use an outdoor paint and seal it. But again, this one's going to be inside. So I'm just giving it a huge heavy dose of the Waverly white chalk paint. So to create my 3-tiered potted plant, I am going to go ahead and add a large piece of Dollar Tree styrofoam to the bottom of the pot, and then I decided to take that first layer out and add in some brown craft paper to really stabilize that styrofoam. I'm rationing my styrofoam right now because I'm trying to use everything that I have on hand. So as you guys can see, that brown craft paper works miracles on this project. Now I did decide to go ahead and add some hot glue, and then the smaller pot. This is going to be my 2nd tier layer, and you're going to need to use quite a bit of hot glue. Now I'm going to use another piece of Dollar Tree styrofoam and pop that in to this 2nd tier to then add the 3rd tier. Now, if you guys have seen these in stores, they're super expensive, even for the fake planted variety. But if you guys are doing this outside, you may want to add a wooden dowel down through the center of your pots. Again, this is going to be inside, so I'm not too worried about it. I am going to go ahead though and now do my favorite part, which is the arranging of the flowers. I'm using some Dollar Tree onion grass at the very top, and I'm just going to go ahead and pop that in to the styrofoam, and then I'm using lamb's ear on the other side. When I do these 3-tiered pots, I really love to add in my greenery first and then add in my florals second, and I wasn't for sure if I was going to add florals, but I decided that that would definitely be a good option. So I'm continuing to work greenery in and around the potted plant. I decided to go in with some beautiful florals. I have these white Gerber daisies on hand, and then I'm also layering in some pale pink tulips. I am loving this so far. I think the pink tulips just give me that pretty dainty kind of shabby chic romantic vibe, with that hint of spring and just a little bit of sweetness. Again, this is going in my crafting studio. I really wanted it to feel like it was spring and summer, inside here, and this is just making my heart smile so much. So I'm balancing the pink tulips. I'm adding several into one side and then offsetting them on the other with some more pink tulips. So I just popped this 3-tiered happy beautiful floral on top of my little cherub planter. It has this little shell bowl that comes up. I got it at an auction years ago, but I have tried to source some similar planters and put them in my Amazon store for you all, and I am just over the moon loving the softness.
So thank you all so much for joining me on another fun and fabulous crafty decor adventure. It's a true blessing and honor to have you all here. If you all are new, welcome. I'm Olivia, Olivia's Romantic Home, and I love to share with you guys how you can make your homes boutique gorgeous on a budget. I truly believe that y'all don't have to break the bank to have a fabulous, amazing home. So listen, for everybody that comes back and loves on me, thank you so much. Quick update on my ankle. I have been able to start weight bearing in my walking boot and sneaking it into a tennis shoe, just tiny. I'm still about 3 weeks out from complete release on being able to walk, but I am beginning some physical therapy and all that kind of fun stuff. So thank you guys so much for everybody that has prayed for me, that has loved on me, that has commented. I have never broken a bone before, and the bone that I broke in my ankle is pretty intense. So it's been a little bit, and I cannot wait to get back to my crafting and decorating. It's developing a lot of patience in me, let's just say that. So no matter where you're at, if you guys are developing patience in your life journey, or you're just, hey, going through some stuff, listen, keep putting one foot in front of the other. I promise every day is a new day, and it's your chance to just do a little bit better, pray a little bit more, release some stress, because hey, there's only so many things we can control, right? I'm hugging all of your hearts so tight. This is a praying community, so if you guys need prayer, drop a prayer request down below. I love y'all to the moon and back. I'm thankful so much for you guys, and I just cannot wait again to get back to my crafting and decorating. Thank you guys for watching my videos and for continuing to support me. I have such an amazing community here. It's me, you guys, and my little camera, and I'm a stay-at-home mama, and I just love to craft and decorate and share what I do with you guys. So I hope y'all are loving it, and until our next video, remember, be kind to yourselves and be kind to one another. Talk to you guys very soon. Bye-bye.